This is the handover for the Volkswagen California based on the T5.1. We'll begin round on the driver's side with the bonnet release, which is just inside the cab door. Top of the wheel arch, pop the lever back towards you, and that should release the bonnet. Little tab just in the centre of the bonnet comes up on a gas strut. You've got your brake and power steering fluids over on the left hand side, oil dipstick and oil filler points, along with your radiator water and your screen wash, and then the engine batteries located underneath the cover. Round on the passenger side you have your fuel point. You'll have to open the passenger door. There's a little tab that you pull back on, and that enables you to get access to your diesel filler cap. When you move further back down the back of the passenger side vehicle, you have your water filler cap. So hose pipe in, and that enables you to fill up with water. And then adjacent to that you have your mains power point. Plug into the side of your van first of all before you plug into your main power source. To release, just pull back on the blue tab just there. So we have a bike rack at the back, so undo the strap which supports onto the top bar, and then you may find that it's easier to actually have these support rails pulled down so that they grip into position. Each of the rails comes up, and then by clamping up and using key lock you can then hold it onto the centre bars and then use the straps on that for the wheel hubs as well. Opening up the back, and we have a number of features in the left hand locker. I've already removed the bottom shelf, and when you look into that locker you'll see a black plastic cap. Remove that and that gives you access to your gas bottle supply, turning on and off via the black knob on top. You'll need to lift the cylinder out slightly and unscrew the brass section from the blue bottle itself in order to change it over. Located around to the left hand side of the gas locker you've got a small lever, and that lever is the drain valve for the onboard fresh water tank. So in one position allows it to open up and drain out, and then obviously return to its original position for filling the tank. Finally, against the back wall above the gas section you've got your mains RCD hookup, so you can see that the switches are in the on position with a little test switch above it, a little semicircular nail. Push down, that will turn the main supply off into the van. When you go underneath the back mattress, you've got two little plastic screws which you undo, and that drops down this polystyrene box. Contained within that polystyrene box is your vehicle toolkit. The spare wheels located underneath the back bumper, and at the back of the kitchen units, we'll show it to you later on, you've got your warning triangle and first aid kit. With the twist of the screw cap, you've got located in the side box there your access for your leisure battery. Finally, on the tailgate you've got your access for your outside chairs. Undo the little clip tab and then just pull the chair firmly towards you and open up like so. On the inside of the sliding door you've also got an outside table as well. So with the awning on the outside, T goes up into the slot, turn the awning handle around. We won't fully extend it, but just to show you what's involved, you've got inside the helmet jaw pair of legs. Press in on each of the legs and turn. They're slightly spring loaded. You should be able to drop the leg down into position and then push back on the lever to lock the leg into position. These awnings are designed as These awnings are designed for summer use only and shouldn't be used in wet or windy conditions. They're not storm shelters. Storage drawer underneath the sliding seat is the normal typical home for the awning handle. Also located in here are your fold away cab curtains. For the operation of the bed and the seat mechanism, there's a second lever on the front panel. Firm tug, should be able to pull that one forward. Within the seat base you have a handle that you can draw on that allows the seat to recline, and then there are clips which allow the headrest to be dropped all the way back out of sight, good firm press down, and you should be able to then drop the mattress all the way flat to make it up for the double bed. At the back of the kitchen cupboard on the floor, you've got a red lever. That's the drain valve for draining off your wastewater tank. We mentioned it when we were looking at the toolkit, but there's a red bag at the back of the kitchen cupboard which you've got your warning triangle and first aid kit. And then up on the underside of the hob, your little red lever, which is your isolation point for the gas tap for the hob. Underneath the glass hob, you've got your gas hob, so piezo igniter onto each of the gas burners. The lid does not shut off the gas supply, so you need to make sure that these are switched off and cooled before you draw the gas lid back down. Because of the time of year, we deliberately emptied the water system down, but typically when you turn on this lever, you'll hear the pump engage, and that will draw water from your onboard freshwater tank. The fridge operation is done via the control panel up above the driver's cab position. There's a centre console above the driver's head which has got all of the features for the operation of the back half of the vehicle. When you turn on the control panel on the bottom left hand button, there's a bezel dial which you can use to go around different functions. But initially when you turn it on, you can see that we've got an indicator for the freshwater and wastewater tank, time, and the fact that we are plugged into the mains, and it's showing any amperage on current draw that's available or being used on the van. For the fridge controls, you can do it in one of two ways. You can either go into the menu and go through and select the individual appliances. For example, the fridge. Like so, and then go in and turn it on, and you can see there that the display changes from an illuminated to a non-illuminated switch, or you can just use the switch control itself and then use the bezel to adjust the output within that appliance if that's what's required. Switching it off disables it. For the heater system, it's a similar story. It can either be done via the main menu or you can go into the actual switch button and then control it from there and disable it or turn it on, and it's using a diesel reheating system. The roof operation, you must have the vehicle keys in the ignition, and the ignition turned to the live position, and then go into your menu, select the pop-up roof, and then with the main lever drawn back, press the open button and you'll hear the motor engage and the roof will start to open. There is a bungee band around the fabric which controls the position of the fabric when it's being opened and closed. Once the roof is fully opened, you can then push up the internal overcab bed. Keep your finger on until the motor stops, and that's the roof in its fully engaged position. From there, you can then push up on the bed mechanism via the gas struts, and you've also got then access to your downlighters as well. For closing the roof, again, the ignition needs to be in the on position. Prior to closing, you need to make sure that the inner bed is pulled back down, and then you should be able to then select the function and draw the bed down. It will send you a reminder to make sure the roof bed is down and that all the blinds have been closed thoroughly, and then you can then continue. Although the bungee cord should draw all the fabric in, it's worthwhile walking around the exterior of the van and just making sure that none of the fabric has been caught into any of the seals. If that is the case, make sure, reopen the roof and make sure that the fabric is clear. Don't leave anything on the drop down bed, as that will affect the roof closure and may even break the bed mechanism. Being a DSG automatic, you will need to have your foot on the brake clutch pedal when you want to start the vehicle, and make sure that the lever is in the park position, and from there you should be able to start up quite normally. If you are plugged into the mains, you may well hear a blip sound indicating that you are connected to the national grid. Over on the right hand side, you've got your light controls. If you pull out on the bezel, then it will become the front fog lights and the rear fog lamps. You've got headlamp beam adjustment as well as instrument binnacle adjustment on the little bezel dials to the left of it. And over on the driver's door, your electric mirrors and electric window functions as well. Wiper controls, pull down for a quick wipe, otherwise work up through the sequences for intermittent, and there's a little adjuster for the intermittent pace on the top of the stalk, and then a standard cycle and a double cycle pull back for your rinse if required. Left hand side of the bezel, as well as your cruise control, you've also got your indicators and main beam for your lights. Center controls, you've got heated seats, depress on the center buttons on numerous occasions to increase or decrease the seat output, and then the main bezel on the left hand side is your temperature control, and the one on the right your directional control with the center speed for the fan, your heated rear window, as well as your AC controls and recirculation controls. It blows warm air up onto the back window as opposed to having an actual element. Parking sensors can be disabled along with the anti-skid and traction control systems if required, perhaps driving in wet grass or in slippery conditions. When the cup holders pull forward, that reveals your 12-volt socket, your hazard light switch, and then you have a standard radio CD player up at the top as well. Lockable glove box using the ignition key. So that's your introduction to the California. Sincerely hope that the van is going to give you lots of miles and lots of smiles, but if you do need to get hold of us, then do so in the normal way, either via the phone or the email. Thank you very much for watching.